Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will clear a new concept related to rural development. The real progress of India depends upon the development of rural area and rural people. If we develop our rural area and the livelihood of rural people, only then we can do overall development in the economy. So, let us see which are the components and what is the meaning of rural development. So, let us start with number one, meaning. What is included in rural development? Which are the areas? So, rural development means an action plan. Action plan. And this action plan means a continuous and a comprehensive means a detailed study. So action plan is a continuous process and it is a comprehensive social and economic process which is directly related to the quality of rural people and the improvement of rural area. We know that approximately, if we see overall, then overall 50% GDP comes out from primary sector. Primary, it means agriculture or allied activities. And moreover, if we see 80% of rural people are directly involved in agriculture or allied activities. So, these people provides food basket to the nation. They provide food basket to the nation and also keeps the country hunger free. They produce enough food grains for the nation that we are not dependent upon any other country. Still, at present, we are self-sufficient in the food grain production. So, if these rural people provides these small, marginal or large farmers which are doing cultivation, they provide food basket to the nation and moreover they keeps the country hunger free. So we must improve our rural area, we must plan strategies, we must plan our projects which are based upon the development of rural area. Only and only then there will be overall development of the economy. And now let us see some more aspects which are related to the action plan. This action plan includes two challenges. Number one, lingering challenges of this action plan, and number two, emerging challenges of the action plan. These lingering challenges are: number 1, rural credit; number 2, rural marketing; and similarly the emerging challenges are: number 1, option for sustainable livelihood other than farming. It means this is related to the diversification of agriculture. And next emerging challenge is organic farming. So we have explained, I have written 2 lingering challenges and 2 emerging challenges. So total there are 4 core challenges. So these are 4 core challenges of the action plan, which is related to the development of rural area. And now let us see which are the other aspects related to the development of rural area. There are, so first of all I am writing down some other elements related to the rural development. Some other elements of action plan. Elements of action plan related to rural development. Number 1, improvement or development of transportation. Our transport system that must be developed so that raw material can be carried easily from rural area to urban area. To carry raw material or other allied activities from rural to urban area, and similarly machinery, equipments and implements from urban area to rural area. And moreover, suppose that you are doing allied activities such as horticulture or floriculture, so you must take your raw material daily from rural area to urban area. Then supply will be more easy if we improve transportation system. Number 2, linking of rural roads with urban roads and with highways. So there must be construction of roads, and with the construction of roads, goods can be easily transported from one place to another. And our next element of action plan, that is provision of energy, power supply, and other related means. Now suppose that due to the shortage of power supply and there is cut off electricity, then how you can run your tube wells? And with the shortage of diesel or petrol, you can't run your machinery, suppose that tractors and threshers or harvesting machines. So electricity is must. So if we keep and if we give subsidies to the farmers in terms of electricity, then it will automatically improve our agriculture production, and there will be development of rural area, and with the improvement of agriculture production, income will be increases, and the quality of life and standard of living will also be increases of the poor section of the society. And moreover, our next that is related to the development of irrigation facilities. Irrigation facilities. Approximately at present 47% land is under irrigation. So we must improve our irrigation facilities, because we can't dependent upon rainfall, and in India agriculture is the gambling of rainfall. So if we improve irrigation facilities, then ultimately overall production in agriculture can be improved, and with the improvement of agriculture production, it will affect the income level, and ultimately their livelihood will also be increases. Then agriculture research. Agriculture research centers such as CSSR, NDRI, agriculture universities. These will help us a lot for the improvement of our diversification of agriculture, and we can shift from subsistence farming to commercialization. क्योंकि these experts time to time will guide the farmers which type of cultivation they can do according to their climatic condition, according to their area. And suppose that mushroom cultivation is very much useful in the area of Solan, that is appropriate climate is very much suitable for the production of mushroom there. And similarly in our area, production of very fine quality of rice that can be produced in our northern India, particular in this our area of Haryana. So this is also known as the rice bowl of the country, because we produce enough for self consumption and for export also. And next, these were the some core elements which are related to the action plan. And now let us clear which are the second processing of planning, that is what is the process of rural development. Processing, or which are the key issues related to rural development. So let us see. Number one, if we want related to development, first point is, if we want to improve rural development, then there must be development of human resources. Human resources means manpower resources. And these manpower resources includes number 1 literacy, and number 2 healthcare facilities. Healthcare facilities. So first of all, primary medical health facilities. Primary medical health facilities. Health facilities are required in a rural area. Suppose that if mother is not physically fit, how children can be physically fit? And if infant mortality rate is high in India, in rural area, infant mortality rate means the infant lie in between 0 to 1 year. If child mortality rate, it means infant death rate is more in India, then how we can, what is the use of schools and colleges? And if child mortality rate is high, child mortality rate means the children who lies between the age group of 1 year to 5 years. If child mortality rate is high, then no use of schools and colleges, because ultimately if the child cover up his first initial 5 years, if we are doing proper vaccination, if we are giving him or her proper medical health facilities, then ultimately after 5 years, after cover up of 5 years, he will go to the schools. Otherwise there is no use of schools if child is not physically fit. So primary medical health facilities, primary health centers are very much required in rural areas, so that there will be protection from deadly diseases in those particular areas. So, and after that, literacy. If we eliminate illiteracy, because education is still a far cry in India, a lot of child labor is there, and moreover 80% of population, female population, is more working as compared to urban population in rural area. In rural area, female workforce is more than in urban area. Reason is illiteracy. So we must increase education setup in the rural area, and primary education must be compulsory for each and every child. Number 2, development of infrastructure. This infrastructure includes 2 types of infrastructures are there. Number 1, social infrastructures. Number 2, economic infrastructures. Social infrastructure includes health, education, housing, similarly sanitation, pure drinking water supply, pure drinking water, supply of pure drinking water. So these are some social infrastructures. And then economic infrastructures includes irrigation, rural credit, facilities of rural credit, and similarly rural marketing. The problem of rural marketing, problem of means of transportation, communication, energy, power supply. So we must improve all these aspects if we want to really change our rural background. Then we must develop our economic infrastructures and social infrastructures. Economic infrastructures and social infrastructures. Then we must do land reforms. Which type of land reforms are required? We must eliminate intermediates from the land, and these intermediators are suppose that money lenders or zamindars, that must be eliminated. Elimination of intermediators, money lenders or zamindars from the, and we must do such type of land reforms, and we must give land to provide land to tillers. What is meant by tillers? Tillers are the actually cultivators of the land. Actually these are landless peasants, and they do work for zamindars, and they share only a very low percentage of the crop, and they are not having surplus for the further investment in the economy. So they are always living in debt trap. So we must improve the condition of these weaker section of the society, which are very much poor and living in rural area. So we must improve the conditions of tillers in the economy. We must provide land. We can take extra land from the zamindars, and we can provide land to these landless tillers, landless peasants, because these landless peasants are the actually cultivators of the land. So land must be provided to them. And our next point is evolution of poverty. So we can remove poverty. So many plans, so many strategies are set up by the government. Suppose that government is giving minimum support price to the farmers, minimum support price to the farmers, so that there can't be any type of exploitation in the Indian economy. And government wants to remove commission agents, and government is providing rural credit through cooperative societies, through commercial banks, and through regional rural development banks or land development banks. So government can provide, and through self-help groups they can improve their standard of living, and in this way they can improve their quality of life. So poverty can be eliminated with the efforts of the government they are doing for the improvement of agriculture or rural area. And our last point is development of productive resources. Productive resources, one aspect which government is trying, that is government didn't want to increase agriculture production, rather government want to increase farm income, not farm production. And for this aspect government is trying to find out jobs other than farm activities. It means non-farm activities must be improved in the rural area, and through these non-farm activities means government are giving more importance for the self-employment opportunities. We can create self-employment opportunities in rural areas for the livelihood, so that during whenever peasants are, there will be seasonal unemployment, and in this way we can remove disguised unemployment from the economy easily. And moreover, our next aspect which is related to rural development, and now let us see on the basis of these core elements and other elements which are related to the rural development, if we improve all these areas, then ultimately there will be rural development. And we have also discussed which are the policies, which are the strategies, which are the key elements how progress can be done in rural area. And now let us see which are the benefits of rural development. Number 1, major source of GDP. On the eve of independence, approximately 56% share, it means in 1950-51, 56% share that comes out from GDP. 56% GDP that comes out from agriculture or allied activities, it means from rural area. But now the data has been changed in 2017-18. The contribution of primary sector in rural area, that is 18%, 17% to 18% only. So now the contribution has been reduced. Number 2, it means the burden has been shifted either to secondary sector or to tertiary sector. It means we are to some extent we are successful for shifting the burden of agriculture towards industries or towards services sector. Then large source of employment, large share of employment, source or major share of and large source of employment. As we see that in India, approximately 50% population is 50% population is engaged in agriculture or allied activities. Agriculture plus allied activities, it means in our primary sector in India. They are, but if we see that we have written 50% here, we see that 1.5% population is engaged in UK, 2% population is engaged in USA, and 3.49% population is engaged in Japan, and 4% population is engaged in primary sector in Germany. In this way, by the analysis of major share of GDP and large source of employment, if we sum up first or second point, then we see that a large portion of livelihood that comes from primary sector in India. So we must benefit. So यहाँ suggestions are there that we must reduce our burden of primary sector towards secondary sector or tertiary sector, because we are largely dependent. 50% population is dependent. Rather in UK 1.5%, in USA just 2% population, in Japan just 3.49% population. Here the contribution share in primary sector of Japan, that has been reduced from 10% to 3.49%. In Germany it is just 4%. So we learned a lesson from here that we must reduce our extra burden of employment, extra burden of labor force from primary sector to either we can shift towards secondary sector or tertiary sector. Until or unless we will not shift our burden towards secondary or tertiary, we will lie in a situation of backward economy, because it is a sign of backwardness of the economy. Any economy which contributes largely to primary sector, it means agricultural allied activities, it means that economy is a backward economy. Then we can write other benefits. Suppose that it provides raw material, to the industry. So this primary sector provide raw material to the industry, and many industries like jute industry, jute, cotton, and similarly sugarcane, sugar industry, and many food processing industries. Many food processing industries are totally dependent upon primary sector. Until or unless they can't take raw material from agriculture, then these industries can't be run. And similarly shellers. So such a type of industries are totally based upon agriculture. Then it provides surplus food for extra population. So population of India is increasing day by day, all of us we know. Then this primary sector that provides food grains to this extra burden of population every year. So every year surplus food grain, production of surplus food grain will be there. So it must keep the country hunger free, as we have already written. So this primary sector is the food basket of the nation and keeps the country hunger free, because on the eve of independence our Indian economy was not self dependent even in the production of food grains. So on the eve of independence and during first 5-year plan, we have imported food grains from other countries, from abroad. But credit goes to Green Revolution. During the period 1966 or 67, third 5-year plan, we got self-sufficiency in our food grain production. Not self-sufficient, we became self-sufficient. Rather, we start exporting of food grains to other countries also. So this agriculture, if we improve our agriculture area, then they must provide us extra food grains so that this extra population can be survive easily and there will not be any type of shortage of food grain in the economy. And moreover, it provide market for the industry. For the industrial sector, because 80% population is engaged directly in agriculture or allied activities. So these 80% population, and we know that 50% workforce is directly related to agriculture or allied activities, and they are using modern means of irrigation, modern means of agriculture, in which they, for the irrigation, they are using tube wells, similarly tractors, threshers, harvesting machine, harvesters, etc. So in this way they provide a large market to the industry. Next point is it increases capital formation. Increases capital formation because government is taking very much initiatives for the development of our rural area and for the livelihood of our rural people. So if capital formation is increasing, if there is capital formation, it means we are producing surplus production. Surplus production means surplus income. Surplus production, it means surplus income. Surplus income means we are improving our quality of life in rural area and there will be overall development of the economy. So capital formation means we are having surplus for further surplus for further investment. And last point is importance for foreign trade, international trade, foreign or international trade. So international trade can be improved. देखो ultimately one thing is there, we can improve our trade only if we are having surplus with us. First of all, we have to uh, complete our basic requirements in our country, requirements of food grains. So if we are shifting from subsistence farming to commercialization, only and only then we can increase our GDP, and through international trade we can increase our foreign trade, and our GDP, our net factory income from abroad, that can also be increased. So here I am writing down these were some benefits or significances of rural development. So if we make all these changes in our rural area, if we uplift our rural area only and only, then we can improve, we can uplift our rural people's standard of living, their quality of life will be improved, and ultimately there will be overall development in the economy. So very much important topic which we have discussed. So that's all regarding this topic, and do subscribe the channel to see all the videos related to rural development. Our next in my next video we will clear first lingering challenge, that is the challenge of rural credit. So next we will discuss which are the problems and which type of rural credit that can be easily given to the rural areas. So thank you and have a nice day.